Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into something I know a lot of us are thinking about. Travel. How we do it, why we do it.
Exactly.
We've got some really interesting sources here looking at, the ways people are choosing to see the world lately.
Yeah, the current trends.
So our mission today really is to unpack these trends. What are they? Why are they so popular right now?
It's fascinating to see how priorities are shifting, isn't it? What people want out of travel seems to be, well, evolving.
Definitely. Okay, so let's start with one that seems to be everywhere. Sustainable travel. What does that actually look like on the ground?
Well, basically it's about exploring, but doing it mindfully. Thinking about our impact on the planet and the places we visit.
So being kind to the earth while you're having an adventure.
Pretty much. It's about making conscious choices.
Okay, so not just a buzzword then. What are some concrete examples our sources mention?
Things like choosing hotels that are genuinely trying to be eco-friendly. Maybe they use solar power, or they're really cracking down on single-use plastics.
Right, not just putting a sign up about towels.
Exactly. Real commitment. And then there's transport.
Mm-hmm.
More people are opting for public transport like trains or local buses instead of immediately renting a car. Reduces the carbon footprint.
Yeah, and you probably see more that way too, I guess. Slowing down a bit.
You do. And another key thing is supporting local businesses,
Also,
like actively choosing to eat at a small family-run place or buying souvenirs directly from local artisans, not the big generic shops.
so the money stays in the community.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It benefits the people who live there directly.
It sounds like a more, connected way to travel, considering the planet and the people.
It is. And I think that's a big part of the appeal. People are more aware of their impact, but also they find it makes the trip feel, well, more meaningful.
Yeah, I can see that. It adds a layer.
So for listeners, it's maybe about thinking, okay, how can my trip align better with these ideas? Even small things.
Right. Good takeaway. Okay, what's next? Another big one I keep hearing about is solo travel.
Ah, yes, definitely on the rise. More people just heading out on their own.
Yeah. It seems quite empowering now. What's the big draw, do you think? Why go it alone?
Well, the core of it is just pure freedom, isn't it? You get to do exactly what you want, when you want, no compromises.
Total control of the remote travel edition.
Something like that. Your itinerary, your pace.
But is it just about control? What else are the sources saying?
Well, there's a huge element of personal growth. People
Oh.
talk about learning self-reliance, making decisions on the fly, building confidence.
Pushing your comfort zone.
Exactly. You figure things out, you navigate challenges. And interestingly, it doesn't always mean being lonely.
Oh.
Sometimes being solo makes you more approachable. You might end up meeting more locals, more other travelers, just because you're, open to it.
That makes sense. And I guess things like social media help you stay connected to home anyway.
For sure. You can share experiences, stay in touch. But I know a big hurdle for some is like safety concerns or getting lost.
Yeah, the fear factor. What do the sources say about tackling that?
A lot of it comes down to trusting your gut, being aware of your surroundings, common sense stuff, really.
Okay.
And technology is a massive help now.
Mm-hmm.
Google Maps, translation apps, they make navigating much less daunting.
Oh, totally. Game changers. And one source had a great practical tip for language barriers, just learning, "Excuse me, can you help me find this place?"
Such a useful phrase. Simple, polite, effective.
So the takeaway here is maybe seeing solo travel not just as being alone, but as a chance for major independence and self-discovery.
Absolutely. It can be really transformative.
Okay, so we've got sustainable travel, solo adventures. Let's switch gears to something closer to home. Staycations. This one intrigues me.
Ah, the art of being a tourist in your own town.
Exactly. So what's the deal? Just staying home.
Kind of, but with intention. It's about exploring your local area, your city, nearby nature spots, maybe even your own backyard with fresh eyes, like you're visiting for the first time.
So finally going to that museum you always drive past. Or trying that cafe down the street.
Precisely. Or like one source mentioned, maybe even camping in the garden for a night. A mini adventure.
I like that. Finding the novelty nearby. What's making this so popular? Is it just cheaper?
Well, budget is definitely a big factor. The sources agree on that. You cut out flights, expensive hotels.
Big savings there.
Yeah, but it's also seen as more eco-friendly, right? Less long-distance travel means a smaller carbon footprint, connects back to sustainability.
Good point. It's like sustainable travel, but hyper-local. I remember one source mentioned just wanting to finally check out a local hiking trail they'd never done.
See, adventures can be right there. And a simple phrase people might use is just, I'm planning a staycation, Lets people know you're taking a break, exploring locally.
Right. So for listeners, the message is don't overlook the gems in your own area. It's affordable, green, and can be surprisingly fun.
Definitely worth considering. Okay, now for something completely different. The digital nomad life.
Ah, the dream. Laptop on a beach in Bali.
That's the image, isn't it? But yeah, it's basically working remotely while traveling the world.
But it's not all beach, right? There's got to be a catch.
The biggest catch, good Wi-Fi. Seriously, that Bali picture only works if the internet connection is solid. You still have to actually work.
Right, the digital part is key. What kind of jobs allow for this?
Often freelancers or remote employees. Think writers, designers, programmers, online marketers. People whose work doesn't tie them to a physical office.
And where do they actually, live and work? Constantly moving.
It varies. Some use co-working spaces for structure and community. Others rent Airbnbs or apartments for longer stretches. It's a mix of freedom and needing a functional base.
It sounds like a balancing act. Freedom, but also planning. One source mentioned always worrying about forgetting a charger.
The small things. It highlights the practicalities behind the Instagram posts.
Totally. And a useful phrase for that lifestyle might be, can I extend my stay if you find a good spot?
Exactly. So the takeaway is, yes, blending work and global travel is possible now more than ever, but it needs planning and the right setup. It's not just a permanent vacation. Oh, got it. Okay. One more big trend. Food tourism. Now this one speaks to me.
Oh, me too. Who doesn't love exploring through taste?
Right. So is it just about eating a lot when you travel?
It's more focused. It means traveling specifically to experience a place's food and drink, like going to Italy just for the pasta, or Thailand for the street food, or hitting a specific food festival.
Okay, so the food is the main event, not just the side dish to the sightseeing.
Exactly. And the emphasis is usually on authentic, local flavors, finding that little place that does the real deal.
Like the source who talked about one perfect taco in Mexico that just made the whole trip.
Yes. Those moments are powerful. It's about tasting the culture.
What makes it so significant, though, beyond just being delicious?
Food tells stories, doesn't it? Family recipes, local ingredients, cultural traditions around meals. It's a direct line into the heart of a place.
That's a lovely way to put it.
And even learning a few basic words like thank you, gracias. When someone serves you amazing food, it builds connection.
Definitely. So a key phrase from the sources for food explorers. Can you recommend a local dish? Always a great question to ask. Opens doors to things you might never find otherwise.
Perfect. So the big idea is that exploring food is an incredibly rich way to experience and understand different cultures. Deliciously educational.
You got it.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot to cover. So many different ways people are traveling now. Personally, that staycation idea is really sticking with me. I need to explore my local area more. What about you? Which one grabs you?
You know, I still find the idea of solo travel really compelling. That push for self-reliance and discovery. It's appealing.
Yeah.
But what about everyone listening?
Yeah, that's the real question. Which of these trends resonates most with you? Are you thinking about your carbon footprint, wanting that sustainable trip?
Or are you a total foodie, already planning where to eat next? Maybe you're dreaming of that digital nomad freedom.
Or perhaps just exploring closer to home with a staycation feels right now. It's worth thinking about why one might appeal more than others.
Absolutely. Consider which approach fits where you are in life, what you value.
And maybe think about how understanding these different styles could, I don't know, change how you plan your next adventure.
Yeah, even if it's just exploring a different neighborhood in your own city, maybe. Could it inspire something unexpected?
Great thought to end on. Well, thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive into travel trends.